ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇದಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 14 of Sundara Kanda. In the previous chapters, we have seen Hanuman, almost getting into the despair, started thinking that if he probably Sita maybe died due to various reasons, and in case if he presumed that Sita is dead, how can he go back and tell Rama about this news? Even if he simply tells him that he is unable to find Sita, that would lead to the death of Rama, and with that it goes like a chain. Death of Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, and their mothers will follow that lead to the end of Ikshvaku dynasty. And similarly, Sugriva, Angada, and wives of Sugriva, Ruma, Tara, everyone would meet the same fate. And that lead to the destruction of both the humans from Ikshvaku dynasty and the Vanaras from the Sugriva's dynasty. Seeing that such kind of a despair, he decided to stay back on the island as long as he could able to find Sita, and even otherwise he will give up his life rather than going back and give a bad news to all those who are anxiously waiting for him. And at that moment of despair, he saw an Ashoka grove which was not yet explored by him. And with great enthusiasm, praying to all the gods, he entered into that Ashoka grove. Having meditated for a space, Hanuman, who had rejoined Sita in thought, leapt from the rampart onto the surrounding wall and trembling with delight that mighty monkeys standing there beheld every variety of tree and flower, it being the early spring. In fact, it is generally better that make an imagination in the mind that he had already met Sita in that Ashoka grove, because that increases the chance of finding Sita by enhancing the positive thinking in the mind of Hanuman. Whether he would really find Sita there or not, at least it will keep him enthusiastic in order to search for her. Hanuman saw Sala, Ashoka, Bhavya, Champaka, Uddalaka, Nagavriksha, mango, and Kapimukha trees in flower with clumps of amras intertwined with hundreds of creepers, and Hanuman leaping down into that enchanting grove like an arrow shot from a bow entered that garden resembling the rising sun, which re echoed to the song of the birds, planted with gold and silver saplings, and containing flocks of birds and deer, with trees of varying fragrance, which filled him with wonder, abounding in trees of every kind, laden with flowers and fruits, where cuckoos called deliriously and swarms of bees hummed, where all creatures expressed happiness in their movements, where the cries of the peacock could be heard, and waterfowl teemed. The heart of the beholder was ravished when Hanuman, searching for that princess of beautiful and faultless limbs, woke the birds that had been sleeping sweetly, and blown by the wind, set up by the wings of those birds in flight. A shower of variegated blossom fell, covering Hanuman, the son of the wind god, in the mid of the Ashoka grove, lending him the loveliness of a hill covered with flowers. Then all the creatures, beholding that monkey as they darted from all sides, thought, he must be the god of spring. Wholly hidden in blossom which had fallen from the trees, the earth looked like a bride covered with jewels and shaken in divers ways by the motion of that impetuous monkey. The trees rained down a shower of multicolored blooms, and those trees whose tops were stripped of leaves, from which both blossom and fruit had fallen, looked like gamblers who have staked their raiment possessions only to lose all. Buffeted by Hanuman's leaping, those lovely trees speedily let their flowers, leaves, and fruit fall to the ground, and deserted by the birds, no longer able to seek shelter there on account of the shaking ministered by Maruti, presented their bare branches only, so that the Ashoka Grove, battered by the blows of the monkey's feet and tail, resembled a youthful woman with her locks disheveled, the brightness of her lips and teeth dimmed, her tilaka mark effaced, and her arms and legs covered. And in his haze, that monkey snapped the clusters of creepers as the wind dispels the clouds during the rainy season. Ranging here and there, that monkey observed places that have paved their gold and silver with ponds filled with translucent water, their steps encrusted with valuable gems, pearls, and coral, their floors being of crystal, and the banks set with trees of Kanchana gold, which emitted a dazzling light. These pools were covered with clumps of lotuses and lilies, while waterfowl enhanced their beauty, and they re-echoed into the city of Natyahas, swans, and geese. Broad and beautiful streams, bordered on every side by trees, fed them with their waters, which resembled Amrita, and glided under variegated shrubs decorated by hundreds of creepers, ground being carpeted by rhododendrons and oleander flowers. When that foremost of monkeys beheld a high hill bright as a cloud, crowned with lofty peaks, many kinds of trees, and filled with caves, and it was one of the wonders of the world. And he beheld a river falling up from those heights, like a youthful woman tearing herself from her lover's arms in order to leave him, and the branches of the trees sweeping the water looked as if the companions of the damsel were detaining her, while further down Hanuman beheld that streams returning on its course, as if the maiden appeased or reconciled to her beloved. Thereafter, at some distance from the river, pool filled with lotuses, frequented by birds of every kind, drew the gaze of that lion among monkeys, Hanuman, born of Maruta. And he saw a fountain of fresh water with enchanting steps made of precious gems, its basin strewn with pearls, which was embellished on every side with countless herds of deer, ravishing groves, and mansions built by Vishwakarma himself, adorned with artificial woods and trees, laden with fruit and flowers, their branches spreading like umbrellas, giving shade, while the ground beneath was paved with gold and silver. And that great monkey beheld a single golden Shingshupa tree surrounded by golden dayas, and he saw many flower beds and trees which resembled flames, the radiance of which rivaled Mount Meru, and caused him to think they were made of gold. Seeing those beautiful golden trees with their flowering crests, buds, and shoots agitated by the wind, emitting a sound like the tinkling of many ornaments, Hanuman was astounded. Climbing quickly into that many leafed Shingshupa tree, Hanuman reflected, from here I may perchance behold Vaidehi, what that unhappy being who sighs of Rama's presence, and who, filled with grief, wanders aimlessly to and fro. Without doubt, this Ashoka grove, embellished by Chandana, Champaka, and Vakula trees, belonged to the wicked Ravana. Here, by this lovely pool, frequented by birds, that princess and royal spouse Sita will certainly repair. She, beloved of Raghava, accustomed to wander in the woods, bereft of Rama, will assuredly come here. That lady whose eyes resemble a doe's, tormented with grief on account of separation from Rama, fond of rowing in the woods, will certainly walk in this grove. She, the chaste and virtuous wife of Rama, Janaka's daughter, who ever loved the creatures of the forest, anxious to offer up her devotion, will come to this river of translucent water for this purpose. Truly, this beautiful grove is worthy to be abode of the chaste consort of the king of men Rama. That goddess whose countenance resembles the moon still lives. She will inevitably visit this river of cool waters. Thus reflected the high souled Hanuman, expecting the consort of that Lord of men to appear and concealing himself in the Shingshupa tree covered with leaves and flowers, gazed out over the whole scene. Thus ended chapter 14 of Sundara Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puramasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.